and then it just I get
Just restart. But yeah, that shit sucks. I had to like actually upgrade my computer recently to Windows 11, and I didn't want to, but just like shit wasn't working. I
yeah.
think they do it on purpose.
I mean, dude, I have a pretty brand new computer. We're on top of that shit at work. Like my
Yeah,
IT gal shows up to my house and sets everything up, and then
as
like
you should be.
right, and so it's just, dude, the thing like every 2 days it's like we have a new update, and then it fucking
Yeah,
updates
right.
overnight, and then I come in the next day and
And
my
everything's
microphone
fucked.
doesn't work, my fucking
Right,
camera doesn't work. I got to reload, restart it.
right.
I'm just like, God damn it! Here we
Hey,
are, Dougie. Here we
yeah,
are.
you want to do a show or
Yeah, let's do a show. Let's do a show. All right.
nice?
Let's see. And we're live on YouTube. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just kidding. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year. We are about 15 minutes late this morning because we had technical difficulties, which means I didn't know how to fix my computer fast enough, and blamed it on Doug for about the first 5 minutes of the transgression, and now realized it was me. And
No,
we're here. We're here.
To be fair, it's 11:15 in the morning for me, and I'm absolutely hammered already because Saturday. So I'm an easy one to blame.
Are you really
No,
hammered right now?
no.
Oh, I was like,
No,
this is
but-
going to be a great show.
No, but we can maybe accelerate it with this.
Lamarca, little what pony is? Do we call these ponies or half? What do we call these?
I don't know. I'm not that bougie. People think I am because I'm from Connecticut. But what do we call these, Mike? You're in the 1%.
It's sparkling wine, but I don't know what you call
Prosecco.
the half bottle. Prosecco.
Oh yeah. Wait, what do you call the? That's a good question.
Like the little half bottle of it, right? Like I
Right.
think I don't think we call them ponies for champagne, but
no, probably not. Right?
I'll look it up.
Miniature ponies, show ponies,
Shetland, if you will.
Yes.
What is? Oh, it's the first thing that pops up. My computer is smart. It's a piccolo.
Well, it's listening to you.
It's a piccolo. It's a piccolo.
A piccolo.
A piccolo. You've got a piccolo of Lamarca. I don't know if it's actually able to be called a piccolo because that's not really champagne. It's a sparkling wine because the distinction.
Isn't it like a flute thing too?
Maybe. Oh yes, a piccolo
plays,
is a miniature
piccolo.
flute. Yes, exactly. Look at you. We're teaching our audience all sorts of great things this morning.
I'm a player of many flutes. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, the skin.
That reminds me of something that happened. You ever hear like stuff that just sticks in your brain, and you're like, "Why is this here?" But it's still there.
Always.
And I heard someone
a vat of useless knowledge.
I remember someone. This was like, I don't even remember the context. It might have been like an interview on Howard Stern. I don't even remember who said this, but they were telling a story about David Spade doing like some like pre-show like crowd warm up or like just some stand up, whatever. And so he's talking about I guess masturbation or something. Okay. He's meaning to talk about masturbation. And he's like, ladies, I play a little bit of the skin flute myself, if you know what I mean. And he kept saying it over and over, and everybody's like, dude, that's not what that means. and this was like 20 years ago. This like he was already an established like comedian. So skin flute.
Good. I think we have our title for today.
Playing the skin flute. cheers, buddy. It's 8 a.m. over there. I'm guessing you're not drinking.
No, I'm drinking my breakfast of champions, my protein acid gobbledygook over here. It's nutritious, not delicious, but it gets me going. It gets you going.
What's been going on with you?
So I got to tell you, I have a neighbor across the street, and he's a nice enough guy, but he's got this old like Ford 500, which is like the old cop car, right? And there's a bird's nest like right above where he parks his car. And so the other day I'm outside. Well, I mean, it's it's the city's light pole, right? What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
But I was outside yesterday or a couple days ago, and there's like a peregrine hawk or peregrine falcon. I don't know. There's some sort of hawk up there,
Yeah.
right? And it's eating. It looks like a rat or something in the nest. And so I'm like, God damn. And then I look down and there's like all this like bird shit, but it's not like from a fucking sparrow, dude. This is from like what looks like a hawk taking a poop, right? Like it's just massive amounts of like bird shit splattered all over his driveway, right? And I'm like, damn. So then this morning I come out to the garage to start setting up for the recording, and I look out the window and I'm looking at his car, and his car is, it looks like this bird hates him. Like he just this car is covered in like falcon shit. Shit. I mean, that he like legit can't see out of his front window because there's so much bird shit on his car. I was like mesmerized by the amount of copious amounts of bird shit. I'm like,
we
God
need
damn,
pictures, bro.
I want to see. Maybe I can turn this around.
Harvey.
Hold on, let me see if I can
after
just turn
this
this
show.
around.
Yes. Ooh, I've never seen the garage here. Yeah,
You
we're not
can't.
going to see through that window.
No, okay. I will. I'll try and get some photos for next time. But maybe I can take it with my camera and then show it to you on the screen.
Excuse me.
Hold on. I mean, dude, this is like the most bird shit I've ever seen on a car.
We're going to need a post show like
oh yeah, I can get it. I can get it from here. Hold on. Yeah, totally zoomed in. Hold on. It's actually the back window now that I've zoomed in. But dude, I hope you can see this from camera to camera. Can you like see that?
Yes.
Oh my god, dude!
That actually, it actually looks like a sticker. Like it's almost symmetrical. Like
dude,
it's some shitty metal band sticker.
I mean, this is definitely like some old someone threw paint splatter on the wall. I mean, dude, I've never seen that much poop, and that's like from overnight.
So, I love how it like goes across. Like he moved over as
I
he was
feel like
shitting.
the bird. Yeah, I feel like the bird landed on his car and just like dumped. So I had to share that with you this morning.
Well, you've been throwing all your old Chipotle out in the street, right? So that probably doesn't help.
Oh, dude, we don't talk about Chipotle here at the Kurland household. That is like blasphemy. Okay.
Yeah, I imagine.
My wife eats Chipotle about as much as she eats Taco Bell, which is 0. And if I ever have either of those things in my hand, I better be drunk because that's the only excuse for it, right?
Yeah.
So,
or out of town. But,
well, and the last time we actually did eat Taco Bell drunk, both of us, late night, couple of months ago, and it was a swift reminder of, my toilet was similar to my neighbor's car. So
I have a similar relationship with mall Chinese food. Every couple of years, I just need to have it and then like relearn why it's not a good idea.
Is it because like you're walking through the food, but you still go to malls first and foremost? Question mark.
No, I don't.
Do you go specifically for like Szechuan King or whatever?
Like if I'm in one for whatever reason, I might. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that would be my go-to.
Right. So they'll be like, hey, honey walnut chicken, honey walnut shrimp. You want one on a little chicken, toothpick, and you take one, and you're like,
the 2 entree combo.
Oh yeah, and then you get the fucking lo mein that looks like angel hair pasta,
and then you get on a flight home from Vegas, and you're feeling good.
That dude, I learned that lesson a long time ago when we first started traveling, because you travel a good amount for your work, right? Or at least you have in your career, right?
Yeah, I have. I'm actually making my first trip to Vegas next week since the pandemic. So it's been 3 years since I did that trip. But that's exciting. Not as much as you. I know how much you have traveled.
Oh, dude, I was a road warrior. But dude, I used so similarly, like when I first started traveling, I just like grab something at the airport and eat it, and it would be like some grease. I'd be hungover and I'd be like, I don't feel good. Let me get a burger in me, and I'd grab a burger. Or like I'd get like a Wendy's chili. Not good pre-flight. not good pre-flight, but I have to say, like I've never, I have like a phobia of of public restrooms, and like on the like list of worst public restrooms there could possibly be is the top
It's
of
the
that
bathroom.
list is an
It's
airplane
the
bathroom.
airplane.
And so, dude, I went to Australia for Christmas like 6 years ago, and it was like, you know, it was like I think the flight left at
It's like a 20-hour flight, right?
yeah, it's like a 16-hour flight, and so you know, I think we left at I don't know what time we left, but whatever time, you know, you sleep for 8 hours and you're still
If you're
on
lucky.
the fucking.
Yeah.
I did. I went like I think we left at like 6 o'clock at night. You know, I watched a movie. They serve you dinner in every class on whatever flight to internationally, and then I slept and I woke up, and you know, I'm the first thing in the morning kind of guy, and I'm like, oh man, this is happening. Like there is no fucking way this isn't happening. And thankfully on this flight, it was like one of those huge jumbo jets, you know, and it had like 17 bathrooms and like 10 people to a row and whatever. And I was like, okay, like it wasn't the worst thing that ever happened to me, but not recently, maybe in the last couple of years, I had one of these, you know, all nighter things at partying, had to catch an early morning flight, and it finally caught up to me. And I was like in the front of American in the restroom and just like hovering, praying like that my knees didn't give out and my fucking hamstrings and quads I'd done enough squats that week to like hover myself long enough to get through this like ruptured you know spleen that was coming out of me. Exactly. Oh man, but I will tell you the worst public bathroom story ever. This is a good one. I know we're just kind of ripping today, right?
We don't have any sports to talk about really, so this is fun.
No. So dude, remember when I used to work in Long Island and I lived in Norwalk and I had to take the Bridgeport Port Jeff ferry to work?
You were a maniac with that. Yep.
That was another fucking road warrior. So for those of you that don't know, which is probably all of you, I used to live in Norwalk, Connecticut, and I used to work in Bohemia, New York, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes by car, or 2 hours and 15 minutes by car, depending on traffic. It's an hour and 45 with no traffic, but saying there's no trappic on the LIEs and 95, like those just doesn't exist. No. So it was either sit in traffic and be miserable for like 2 hours and 15 minutes, or drive with no traffic, hit the ferry, take the ferry across and drive with no traffic for another like half hour. So it was like
I do the 45. Same, by the way. That LIE commute is nice.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know, maybe on a Friday night at the end of the night, if I was going home for the weekend, or if it was a day, like I was going to stop meet you for an Islanders game on the way home or something.
Hell yeah.
Sure, but you had to take this ferry, and it's one of these car loading ferries, so you could like drive your car on, which I didn't do because it costs way more to drive your car on. So I had my car, and I had a company car waiting for me in Port Jeff. Anyway, long story short, and I only did this for about a year because it was fucking miserable, and I had Fridays off, so I only worked 4 days a week when I did this. Prefacing, but these were old ferries. I don't know what year they were built in, but they weren't like state of the art. You know, they're fucking crossing the Long Island Sound from Bridgeport to Port Jefferson.
American infrastructure, baby.
Right. So these things are probably from, if I had to guess, the 70s. Like, So the bathrooms look like your elementary school bathroom with like the fucking taupe colored dividers that you can see through the cracks and, you know, whatever. So anyway, I'm on the ferry and I'm riding this thing every day, and you could get seasick. And this luckily wasn't a seasick day, right? But I had eaten something at lunch that I don't know. It was coming out. It was not waiting. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I go to use them. There's only one bathroom for men and one for women, but they're huge bathrooms, right? So I go to get into the bathroom, and the fucking maintenance guy is in there with a bucket and a mop, and there's probably like 6 inches of water on the floor. And he's like, bathroom's out of order. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like,
so's my stomach.
so I walk and sit down. I was like, how long you think? He's like, I don't know, man. And he's like, fuck you, dude. I'm mopping up like piss water because, you know, one of the toilets had overflowed or something, right? So he's like, I don't care.
Take a smoke break, man.
Yeah, get out of here, right? So I'm like, all right, maybe this will calm down. I go sit down. I'm like, doing some yoga, breathing exercises, and then finally I get up and I'm like, this is happening. So I go back in and I'm like, I just walk in and he's like, this bathroom's out of order. Do you see what's all over the ground? I said, you're going to see something else all over the ground if you don't let me in the bathroom real quick. And he was like, ugh. He didn't know what to do with that. So then
I would know what to do. I would leave. Yes.
I think he did. I think he left it, but I'm like in the restroom, I'm wearing my work clothes. So I have like nice shoes on and like nice pants on, and I'm using the restroom.
This, trying of course, not to, on the way to work?
No, this was on the way home, thankfully. But like, I'm trying not to get my pants wet from sitting in like the inches of water on the floor and not ruin my shoes. But I didn't care because it was
the water, quote unquote.
Yes, sure, it was not more than just water. So that was probably the worst time I ever had to use a public restroom.
Great moments in poop history, everyone. I think that's from Drew McGarry's mailbag. I don't know if I have like a catastrophic poops on the road story for you. I'll think about that.
I have someone else's. I got more. Let's keep going. So, dude, this is a great one. So, we do work with a pretty renowned national convenience store client. I'm not going to name names because I don't want if the three people that are listening are related to this guy, right? I don't want.
It's Circle K. I'm kidding. I don't.
It is. You nailed it. So
holy shit.
so we go to meet with them in Arizona. There's this big meeting. They like had just brought in all these like consultants to like reorganize their facilities and maintenance department, blah 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 blah. And we're like in this basically line of interviewed companies to go in and pitch them on like what we can bring to the table and how we can save them money and yada yada yada. And they had gone through this whole like extensive like RFP with God knows how many people, and then so they had hired. I want to say they had hired Deloitte and they had these German people from Deloitte in the room, critiquing and breaking down our RFPs and our answers and so the guy that was the head of, you could tell this was like a total like power struggle. Like Deloitte's in there and this guy, he's the head. I don't remember his name, but he had to be like 400 pounds, right? Like he was like, he couldn't tuck his shirt in. He had like, the waistband on his pants and like, you could tell he was a shorter guy that was like more round and tall. And so right before we're sitting in the lobby, right? And it's like this big conference room. This is a poorly designed office space, right? So there's the big conference room. It's a huge conference room. There's this like lobby with the secretary and this like waiting area. And then there's one unisex, like single use bathroom in the fucking lobby. So we're waiting. This guy leaves whoever, like, the meeting before us exits, and this guy beeline. And I don't know who this guy was at the time, right? It's just some big guy beelines it for the bathroom. And then we get ushered into this room, and like, there's probably like 10 of them, which note to anyone that's listening that's doing business meetings, like never show up with that many people. It's fucking dumb.
No, it sucks.
It's such a stupid, it's just so, when you show up with 10 people, you guys are trying to overcompensate for something and it just looks dumb.
Man. And it's like 10 minutes of intros. It's
dude. So we did 10 minutes. We did the whole round the table intros and then they started firing off the fucking questions. And anyway, this guy comes out late. Like the meeting starts late because this guy who was the director couldn't like, he had to go, and he comes out and he's like disheveled. He's like covered in sweat, like sweating through his like, triple XL button down and like just like pants, like shirt untucked. His hair's all messed up. You could tell like, it was like who does number 2 work for? He was like getting Tom Arnold screaming in his ear. And he comes in, and then on top of all that, dude, so we're sitting there like trying to act like we don't know that because we all saw him like there was 5 people from my team. We all saw him go in there, and we're like, he's just down. He's like, hey guys, sorry. But the worst part about it was this is the part I didn't understand. On top of all that, after making us wait, taking a massive shit, and like that he was sweating profusely. He comes in and then proceeds to be the biggest asshole to all of us. Like, it wasn't like he was interviewing us to like try and find out if we were a good fit for him. He was like trying to like belittle us. What I think in retrospect is to like prove to Deloitte that like, you know, he was really good at his job. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it was dumb. It was so dumb. And I'll never forget this. I can't remember his fucking, actually I do remember his name. I will leave him nameless.
So
but
did you win the account? Probably not.
No, I didn't win the account, but I won the ability to tell the story to the audience today.
Oh, that's great. I was expecting a little more fecal matter involved, but hey, that's fine.
I'm sure there was fecal matter. I wasn't going in and checking out. No, you want another great story? You want another great story?
Let's keep them going.
So my first job ever, I'm at TMC Marketing in Norwalk, Connecticut. Second job ever. And I'm my first sales job, and I'm like a telemarketer. I'm fucking pounding the phones. I hated it. It was like right after 9/11, so it's probably 2002. Yeah. They would just start, like, companies were just starting to like hire again, you know? And I got put in this call center, and we were like selling trade show, like, attendance packages for technology trade shows. And we had this boss, and he was like this fucking stoner, and he was cool, but he was like, I'm glad he didn't work for me because he was just whatever, but he knew like the company was a joke, and like everyone kind of knew it was a joke. They were more known for their industry magazine, so it was more of a publishing company, but then they rolled it into like making conferences out of it. So this guy was our boss, and he was just like, it was me and Ryder, R.I.P. Ryder, and so I got him the job there, and we were just like,
I remember this, by the way. I remember when
dude, we were like in this like random nook of like Connecticut that no one knew existed, but was right off the post road in Norwalk. I mean, so we'd go to work, and we were supposed to call these people and try and sell them trade show attendance packages. And it's like, it was so dumb, dude. It was like no one was spending any money at the time.
It's a really demeaning job too. Is like,
dude, hey, Mr. Smith, this is Michael Curlin with TMC Marketing.
It's like Clang. No.
Oh, dude, yeah, hang up. But it taught me like to not take rejection too personally.
Yeah.
So, but we had this guy. His name was Steve Clytus, and he had like the worst lips. So he'd be like, hey, it's Steve Clytus, and he was. I mean, we were entry-level guys, me and Ryder, right? We were probably like 23 years old at the time, 22, 23. This guy was like maybe 60, and he was just like little turtle. Like he was small and had like bad – he definitely had a lazy eye. He had like bad like dandruff. Like there wasn't a lot going for Steve, and I don't know what's happened to Steve. Probably not around either, if I had to guess. But one day Steve goes and takes a bathroom break, and he – takes a dump in the bathroom.
Take your time.
He fucking got up, right? He got up. I wasn't in there, but I'm imagining, right? He gets up and he goes to wipe, and I don't know, gets like the toilet paper, and somehow, like, I don't know if he like his pants were like caught up or something, but he falls over on the toilet paper, dude, with the shit on it, and gets shit all over his business like shirt. He gets shit like all the way down his back, dude. And he comes out and he's like, got shit on his shirt.
Wait. He didn't like notice this?
I don't remember if he noticed, but like Ryder was definitely like, yo, Steve, you got some shit on your shirt. And then at that point, he was like, "Oh,
shit on your shirt!
Oh my god,
shit on your shirt!"
And then, so Bruce Hirsch was our boss, and he comes in and he was like, "Hey, Steve, like go home and take the rest of the day off, like clean yourself up." I don't know how it happened. I just imagine him like, on like the bottom of like the nasty like bathroom floor, like rushing around in his.
Do you think he like banana peeled it in the bathroom? That's what like, landed on his back.
Yes. I think he was like wiping, and like maybe one of his foot came out from under him, and he like ate it, and he fucking was on the floor trying to get up with his pants around his ankles, and he's like got his shit paper like stuck to him. He's trying to peel it off, and he probably like smeared it down his Sure. I don't know, dude. I don't know how it happened, man.
This is
But
why we have to ban offices. Working from home is not enough. We must stamp them out. Damn it! Oh my god, that's the stuff I miss. I've been working from home since 2007.
yeah, man. Yeah,
I don't miss that actually. I don't miss any of that.
no. Do you miss it at all though? Because I think that's I know,
at
like you said, we don't have a lot of
years.
sports, right? Yeah.
At certain time of years, you miss the like the holiday parties and like because I'm regional. I'm like the only person within like 1,000 miles that works for my company. So
where's your corporate office? Miami, right?
Miami, yeah.
Nice.
Or Coral Gables, but yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever given consideration of relocating down that way?
Yeah, we've considered it. I don't think we are though.
We actually, funny enough, are talking about possibly relocating to the Miami area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the taxes, and all that.
Yeah, the taxes are a big reason for that thought process. So,
Miami's incredible to visit,
obviously,
and it's got some decent neighborhoods. It's quite a place. So I don't know. I'm not really a Florida guy.
Yeah, so
I cannot stand humidity, by the way. So like I'd be.
But you live in Connecticut, so that's such a fucking stupid thing for you to say. Like,
I know
if you don't like humidity,
I should be in the desert. I'm late.
Right,
I'm late.
So that's why I left, dude. I hated the humidity and I hated the snow, the winter, the like fucking really bad winters. But
although we don't really get those anymore.
I know, right?
Like last couple years.
We're starting to get them. So
yeah, right.
I've been out here for 9.5 years and no humidity. Like it was 74% humidity the other day, which isn't like for you that you probably would barely recognize it. It's not humid, but it's not considered like humid. But out here, I was like, God damn it, like it is humid, and I'm like, well, I wonder what the humidity is today. It was 74, and I'm like, I'm such a pussy. Like this shit. This shit feels like I felt like I was under a wet blanket.
I mean, like, don't you guys get June gloom though around this time of year?
Mm-hmm. So it's gone from every 5 years we get like the quote unquote El Nino,
right? And
it's been this year. So you get rain. You get a shit ton of rain during the winter, and we have gotten rain every week.
That's good though.
It's good for California in general. It's not good for my mentals, and it's not why I moved here. And so it's been rain every day, every week since January, like maybe 1 week off. And usually like a normal winter starts in probably December and ends in like end of March. And that winter will be like low 60s.
Winter, yeah.
Right, low 60s, a lot of gray, but you'll get a week or two of like 70 with some sunshine that'll break through and like tie you over. We haven't had any of that this year. And so it used to be June gloom, to your point, but now it's elongated to May gray. So you get May gray to June gloom. So literally the month of May, and I know this sounds asinine to most people, but it's been like 65 and overcast every day since like January 1st with rain. Yeah. So it's not been very nice to live
what
here.
We have right now, by the way.
Yeah. Me too. 65.
It's been nice up here though lately. Real nice.
That's what I heard. You guys have gotten way more nice days than we have. So
real
nice, Clark.
Real nice. Yeah.
You want to talk some baseball 30 minutes in?
All right.
Yeah.
What you got?
Well, started pitching for the New York Metropolitans. Looks like it's starting to get on track. Even Verlander last night. I mean, I think that's his third first batter home run he's given up in like 5 starts for the Mets. But that is the only run he gave up in 6 innings yesterday.
That's what George Springer does, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he's way up on the career list, right?
I wish Verlander would stop grooving fastballs to the leadoff guy, because that definitely is the second, and I think it might be the third.
They're jumping. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
he's got to He settled down. He battled last night.
He did.
That 6th inning where Buck left him in. I guess the plan is to give him an extra day of rest, so they're not concerned about that.
He threw 117 pitches. I mean, he is a workhorse. That's what he does. So he's 2 years removed from Tommy John. If we're gonna go anywhere in this fucking season into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs, he's got to throw 120 pitches.
Yeah. And him and Max has been absolutely great last 3 or 4 starts. So
he has. He's 3 starts now, 1 run, averaging 6 or 7 innings and 1 run for his last 3 starts. So, and they're all wins.
And Carrasco has had a couple of good starts.
2 good starts in a row.
McGill is
Senga.
a mess, and Senga is nasty.
Senga's
He's just got to work on his durability, right, or his pitch counts. But all right,
seven innings of one hit ball against the Phillies. So we swept the Phillies too, buddy. That's pretty nice.
We did. Thank you, Mark Hanna, who had the only good week. In terms of bats, at Colorado, they had some fun, but they're still not really hitting at home overall. Okay, so let's talk about the bad last night. I probably should have trusted my instinct and turned it off after they got first and third with Nimmo, Lindor, and McNeil coming up, and it was pop out, strike out, pop out. And that was it. Chris Bassett was on a mission last night to say something, and he did. He was really good. I was surprised they pulled him. But, they have their reasons. But, it didn't matter. Canna's hot, and that's about it. Even the kids are cooling off.
Yep. What do you I don't know, man. I've been on my Mets hiatus. I will watch the condensed game. I feel like every time literally I've turned the game on in the last few weeks, they're either down because they can't help themselves for giving up first inning runs, and they can't score in the first inning. So it's like watching an Islanders game. They're down 1-0, 2-0 by the time I turn the fucking game on, and I just don't have the chutzpah to sit through it, right? So from your point of view, when you're like, I should turn it off when I feel like it, that's when I turn it off.
Yeah.
So I've been turning it off, or not even turning it on. And I'll tell you, the last time I did turn it on to watch, I've been turning it on a little bit more recently. And the last time I turned it on to watch was that Colorado game when we had just like taken the lead back, and we brought Brigham in, and then he gives up fucking 3 runs, and we're back down 10-9, and I'm like, all right, shut it off, So every time I turn it on, I seem to catch it right at the moment where the jinx.
You're the mush. You've had that talent over the years, actually.
I know.
We've had to shut you down, and they've gone on runs. So
I agree. I know this, man. I've been when I don't watch and we get a W, I'll go back and watch the condensed game, and I'm like, there we go. That was better. I don't want to turn this on. Like literally yesterday, I turned it on 1-0, and I was like, this is not good. Shut it down.
All right. Well, so if you're not watching them too much and you're kind of either seeing the highlights or just looking at the numbers, I can tell you that it's going to take a lot for me to ever get on the Buck Must Go wagon. I think he's doing fine. Especially with the bullpen hand he's been dealt. I think all those guys back there have done an admirable job considering, except for maybe like the last 2 guys in the bullpen, but those guys are always interchangeable. Like everybody from like Brigham up has had a pretty good year this year so far. They could be a lot worse than they have.
Yeah, I think you do a good segue here. Like I have no space. I'd rather watch and be the mush and get upset than go on Mets Twitter because, and what I realized about Mets Twitter is it's a very toxic place, and everyone wants to fire Buck, and it's like, oh, come on, man. Like this guy is one of the best managers of our generation. He knows the game inside and out. He knows how to manage the bullpen. The team is off to a really bad start, and we've also dealt with some catastrophic injuries that we're just starting to get healthy.
2 games over 500. Is it really that bad?
No, it's just
they're in a playoff spot right now.
It's just different from where we were last year because everything was fucking roses last year.
The expectations were high, but I was thinking about this, and this like adds to your point. Last year we kicked ass out of the gate, right? Like first place all year and then faded.
Yep.
And you called it early last year, like August. You're like these guys are tired.
Yep.
Like they're just dragging, and we saw it. Like they kind of broke down September and October, and
Yep.
So if this year we start out slow and then pick it up, fucking sign me up, man.
Yep.
But
And I think
and by the way, I don't want to get conspiratorial, but you can make the conspiracy that maybe some of the Max and JV injuries were a little more minor than they were made out to be, and they were just kind of saving the gas, or saving the wear on the tires for this year. I don't know.
I don't see why not. I don't think I'm watching
Is it
my
more
neighbor
poop?
now. No, she's washing it now. She just realized how much poop was on her car and washing it, so it's kind of hilarious. But
By the way, I forgot to ask, why don't they park? Are there too many cars? Why is he on the street?
it's California. Everyone parks. No one. Their garage is like storage. No one uses their
Yeah,
garage to park unless you
fair.
have like a super nice car. But even on my street, like the Porsches are outside, the fucking McLarens are
Really?
outside. Yeah, dude. No one parks.
I would not leave a
Some
McLaren on the street, man. Wow.
dude. I got my neighbor has a McLaren and he parks it in his driveway sometimes, and I'm like, okay, yes, yes. So
Yo,
I don't.
Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie are going to show up on that bitch. Boom, 60 seconds. I actually never watched that movie. It looked horrible.
It was good. I
It
mean,
was.
if you knew if you thought it was going to win the Academy Award, no. But
All
if
right.
you like fucking awesome cars and
Okay.
people driving fast and like, you know,
Furiously.
stealing cars, and yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It
Okay.
wasn't terrible. I mean, yeah, I also
I take
love
it back.
Fast. I've seen every Fast and the Furious, and I'm probably going to go see 10 in the theater. So
Yeah. I guess every Nick Cage movie looks kind of bad from the outside.
they didn't
So
always, but then he hit that wall. Have you ever
it's,
seen that last movie he came out with, like the massive weight of incredible talent or
I
whatever?
meant to. But
That
I
was a
didn't.
good movie.
It was
That was
good? Okay.
actually an awesome movie. Yes,
I might check it out today then, if I'm
you
bored.
you will, because it's he plays himself in the movie,
Mhm.
and himself, like where he is, like they totally make fun of him. Like,
Right.
I'll take any
He's in on
part.
the joke, right?
Yeah, I'll take any part because I'm broke and I spent all my money and I need to keep working so I can make more money. Like the real reason why he makes so many movies is it's like,
Sure.
Kara, I just need to make a million movies because I'm fucking broke.
That
I
Bruce
like
Willis too, right? Until he had to retire.
Oh, yeah,
Like
seriously.
he was like just flying out to Romania to film like 6 action movies in 6 weeks.
Going directly to
Any,
Netflix.
right. Or
Right,
bootleg DVDs. But
right.
I forgot what we were
Well,
talking about. But
we were
who
talking
cares?
about the Buck hate,
I
and I
need a
got
refill.
do
Go
it.
ahead.
The Buck
Yeah,
hate.
go ahead on the Buck.
The Buck hate is real, and I feel like I don't want to sound like the old grumpy old white Mets fan, but like all the kids on Twitter that are like doing this, I got to remind myself they're like probably in their mid-20s, right to late 20s, like doing this Twitter
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah, probably.
that I'm following, and they all want to be armchair manager. Like, how can you not have Vientos in the lineup? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, shut up. Like, okay, Daniel Vogelbach has been not great, but if you want to get to the postseason and you want to get through 162 games, which is fucking long, I would much rather give this guy as much rope as you can, because if he starts mashing righties and putting the ball over the wall and getting on, I mean, he's still getting on base, but if he starts getting the batted ball average in play up and he starts hitting these balls a little bit further over the wall or in the gap, you got yourself a really good power hitter. Like what he brought to us last year was very important. And there's no one else on the team that has that. So everyone's like, run Vientos out there and play him against lefties and righties. So
I agree with him with that.
Yeah.
Vogelback has 6 extra base hits this year.
Yeah.
He's fighting something. I don't know what it is. So I would plant his ass on the bench for a little bit.
But then if you're going to plant him on the bench, then why? I mean, he brings nothing.
To see if Vientos can take the job. If he can, then Yeah, you're right. He unfortunately out of say like Escobar, Canna, and Vogie in terms of any kind of vet that might be in trouble this year. I think it's Vogie
Yeah.
because you can also upgrade his position in around the deadline, and that's what they did last year when they brought him in. But like two
Right.
home runs and four doubles on June 3rd is not great. He's under 100 OPS plus at this point. You're right. He takes a lot of walks, but like he needs to swing the bat if he's going to be DH. Swing the bat,
Okay.
dude.
Okay.
So I'm not saying get rid of him right now, but like they started Vientos against the righty last night, and I think you're going to see more of that.
Okay. Well, I will defer to you on that because
Well, no, and by the way, I'll be fair. I'm gonna like the kids are cooling off. Beatty's down. Um, Alvarez had an insane road trip and an insane May, but like he's been kind of scuffling so far in June too. Again, very small sample sizes, so we all gotta I think the larger point you're making, I totally agree with. Everybody relax.
right.
Everybody relax. But
It's June 3rd.
I do have my eye on Vogie.
We're 60 days away from the trade deadline, and we have made it this far. Like you said, 2 games over 500. I think we're only 6 games out of first place. We're in the playoffs.
Man,
If they
3.5,
3.5 out of first place, like the Braves are scuffling. I think they just lost 2 out of 3 to the A's.
Which is really hard to do.
Really hard to do. So the Braves aren't as tough as everyone makes them out to be. They look tough because we haven't played great. But if we play,
We never have. Yeah.
if we start playing like we are capable and our pitching starts coming around, and I do think we're going to make some deals at the deadline. I think we can catch the Braves easily, like the Braves caught us last year.
Yeah.
So are the Braves going to turn it on and get hot? It's possible, but it's possible that they don't. Same thing. Could be roles reversed, like you said.
Pete's hitting 230. Like
Stuff's
this offense
change,
could be
right?
a lot better. McNeil's hitting third, which I'm kind of okay with in a vacuum, but he's hitting for no power this year, man.
Right.
Speaking of, kind of like Vogie. So, yeah.
Right.
But that's the good news. Like they can get better, and I think they will.
Oh, historically, these guys have all. And on top of hitting 230, Pete's still leading the league.
Oh, I know. I'm cherry picking that a bit. Right. Pete's been our MVP.
Yeah, and Lindor for hitting 217 is like what's his OPS though?
Yeah. I'm checking. Like we had this last year though. Same thing. I got on him in June. Remember that? And then he was MVP level for the rest of the year. So,
I also think, I'm going to say this. New York is a miserable place to play baseball.
It really is, dude. Because we're not even that bad, but look at us. We're maniacs.
Right.
We're studying every little thing.
Right. But May and April and May, it's cold. We have an older pitching staff.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get going. I'm not saying
it's not a great park to hit in, by the way.
No. So I think it's June 3rd. We're 57 days away from the trade deadline, right? So it's now July 31st these days, right?
Yeah.
We are going to get Quintana back before that. See what we got in him. That'll get McGill back down to AAA. Him and Peterson can work out their kinks in AAA with Lucchesi. So we got 3 guys that are in AAA if anything happens, and that should be our rotation for the rest of the year. And we'll see. We can. The easiest thing every year to pick up at the deadline is bullpen arms.
Yes.
You can go out.
Although not last year apparently, but
I think Epler hopefully softens his stance. I'm sure, but I also think if I'm any other team, the Mets are super top heavy from their prospects. So I'm asking last year for Vientos, Alvarez, Mauricio, or Beatty, right? And Bailey's probably like, I'm not giving you that for Michael Givens. Like, go fuck
teams
yourself.
Are going to ask for Parada.
Right.
I don't know if you do it. He's very highly rated, but for Alex Diaz.
I don't know, man. Like
I don't like trading for relievers, so I'm kind of with you.
I don't mind trading for relievers if they're impactful relievers, but if you need some extra guys in the bullpen that are having a good year, like you can pick up a guy
Yeah.
that doesn't cost your top prospect.
Right.
They're a little bit better than Michael Givens, right? But you can
like an Addison Reed. Great move back in the day.
Great
One
move.
of Sandy's best.
Yeah, and I think, a team like Kansas City, who is not playing well, that probably has a couple of relievers that they'd part with to get rid of the salary, kind of a salary dump type move. We'll be able to make some moves, dude, and I'm not worried about that. And if we need to pick up another DH, and I think that's probably when Vogelback will run his course, right? If he doesn't hit by the trade deadline, they will replace him. But I think he's going to have until the trade deadline to kind of figure it out.
He's hitting 215 with a 300 slugging percentage.
Right. It's an update. So the neighbor is cleaning the car, and then the neighbor next door to her just came over, and they're actually talking about how much shit is on their car and on their driveway. Motions. Yeah, no, they just made what do you think the bird is flying over your car and pooping? I can read the lips here. It's amazing. So
I really hope it's illegal to shoot falcons in California. I hope, because
definitely it's illegal to shoot any birds of prey. I believe they're all protected,
I hope so, except in Texas, of course. But
right, but they also eat falcons. They eat falcons in Texas. So
they do. I'm going there later this month. I can't wait.
Where are you going?
Austin for like almost a week.
Let's see, bro Keefe
and Sis Keefe.
Oh, that's right. Hillary
lives there too.
That's right. She left the LA area now. Is down in Austin. Awesome.
Same year, man. John did.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Looking forward. By the way, Lindor is officially under league average OPS wise.
Okay, well,
ouch.
Let's turn it around, guys. We got plenty of games left, right? We're only 60 games in. We got 100 games left. Or maybe 90 games left. Whatever it is, we're doing all right. We're doing all
right. The schedule is I almost said mad tough, dude. It's not the 90s. The schedule is really tough in June. I don't know if you've looked at it.
I haven't, but
they're going to Atlanta. Then Pittsburgh, but then Yankees, Astros, I think Phillies again. It's gonna be a party. Thank you, Jenny.
Iron sharpens iron, as they say. What are we drinking here?
It does. Sunshine. I actually prefer the Mets to play good teams. I mean, you saw what happened to Detroit, and things of that.
And
nature.
Cincinnati.
Yep.
Yeah, but then we went to Tampa and took it to Tampa. So.
We did.
It just matters. It just matters if you can step up to the competition. I don't like when we play down to our competition, but step it up. But I think we got time. It's on our side, as Lou would say. We've got some guys that could definitely room for improvement. I don't think they're going to get much worse than they're at, and we're already playing where we're at. So.
And it's always good to sweep the Phils. Let's not let that glide by. Who are in a lot worse shape than we are, but I've learned my lesson. They'll be around.
Yep.
They always are.
Yep.
And by the way, Lou doesn't say anything.
Still.
We've heard zero from that stupid team, so I don't want to talk about that stupid team.
Well, what do you feel? What do you feel? You think
the only thing I thought of is that I remember that Snow and Waite were fired at around this time of the year, because I was out in Asia, and I remember when I was out there, and I found out after hitting the clubs in Bali at 4 a.m. and I was looking at my phone, and I was like, Snow's gone.
Oh my goodness.
And I jumped into the Indian Ocean. It was great.
That's awesome. I think maybe he's just waiting for the Stanley Cup Finals to get over. Who knows?
I guess.
Who knows?
He didn't hire his buddy Kyle.
No, he didn't. He went to Pittsburgh. So,
which seems like not a good development, but hopefully he screws it up. Hopefully he's overrated.
Probably both those things. So we'll see what happens. I'm not overly worried about the Islanders. I don't think there's going to be any major moves. I think
it's going to be a boring offseason. We're not going to have much to talk about.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that in another episode, fully dedicated.
Did the Rangers actually hire a coach? I was hearing it was Laviolette, and then it wasn't.
They haven't hired a coach yet, but that he's in the running. You know what though? Let's talk about that. What a shitty franchise. Gallant was a really good coach the
Yeah,
last 2 years.
I thought that was a
And
huge mistake.
it was a
letting him
huge mistake. And like, he handled the media well, he handled his players well. He did well there. He did well in Vegas, and he got a raw deal there. Like, this guy,
He does wear
I
out his
don't.
welcome.
I mean, maybe he's an asshole. Maybe that's the
Yeah,
problem. Is that he's just
he's kind of
management can't
like the
deal with
Mike
him.
Keenan, or speaking of Laviolette, that's the rumor about him. Actually, Mike Keenan told me that personally once. He did not like Peter.
Really?
Yeah,
When did you meet Mike Keenan? Was this at
he
Trottier's
was
house?
no,
You guys
no,
all playing the skin
no,
flutes
no.
together?
This was what did you say?
So were you guys all playing the skin flutes together?
Yes, it was Wednesday night is flute night with the boys. That should be our title, flute night with the boys. I don't know why that's even funny. I'm 45 years old. What was I going to say? So NBC Sports, they kind of shut down, but across the street, and it's like anyway. He was at fucking Bradford. He was just at the bar at Bradford's one day after work, and I was there, and I looked over, and he's just like having a meal at the bar, and I'm like, I think that's Mike Keenan. So I said hello, and we actually talked hockey for a bit.
Nice.
This was back when Charles Wang still owned the Islanders, and they didn't have a home yet, and all that. And he's like the league hates the ownership, but the league will never let them leave, and that was actually kind of reassuring at that time. And I wish I remembered the specifics better, but he was talking a lot of shit about Laviolette. They did not get along. Apparently, he was an assistant under Keenan at some point. We would have to look that up. But yeah, he had strong
it seems
feelings.
that way because if you remember, he came in when we hired him from I want to say from Providence, right? Wasn't he like the Bruins minor league?
He was. Yep.
And so we hired him from Providence, and or was that Scott Gordon? Maybe they both were. I don't know.
They both were minor league. That's how the Islanders did shit back then.
Yeah, so we hired Laviolette. He came in. That was the year that we influxed all that money to get Yashin and all those guys, right? And so we brought Laviolette in, and he took us to the playoffs for the first time in 10, 15 years. And then he was fired after year 2, and it never made sense, right?
I've heard it was a locker room thing, and it was sort of his fault, but it was sort of I hate to say it because we all liked this guy at the time, but I heard Michael Pekka was driving some cliquey shit in the locker room too. It was like a Pekka Yashin divide or something.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, but he obviously Laviolette didn't have control of the situation, or Wong had a huge ego. It's just a bunch of egos. Who knows with that stuff, but.
Right.
It was a bad move. They brought in Steve Sterling. That guy sucked.
He sucked.
Sorry, Steve.
And then what happened after him? Who I can't remember. When did Ted?
Ted Nolan was after Sterling, so he was an actual.
He got another raw deal.
He did too, because they tried to spend for a year. Remember that the Mike Comrie year. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, we're just tearing this fucker down. And I think Ted was like, I don't want to be a part of that. So they're like, okay, bye.
Okay. And then didn't Scott Gordon replace
him? And then we got Mr. Overspeed, Scott Gordon.
Mr. Who?
Overspeed. I'll never forget that. He's like, we're installing a system. We're going to call it Overspeed.
I don't remember this.
And they finished last in the league.
Go to ludicrous speed, and then he got fired. Who took over for him? I can't remember. It's just been a litany. Was that when Snow
Fred
came
Flintstone.
In? Who's Fred Flintstone?
Snow's been around since Nolan. I think.
Didn't Snow coach the team for a day or two?
Maybe.
So okay, so then they fired Gordon, and who's Fred Flintstone?
Mr. Jack Capuano.
Ah, that's right.
He was there for 5 years, I think. He was there for a while. He was there for most of the Tavares time,
yes.
and then it was Dougie. I don't think Tavares never played for Trotz.
No, they hired Trotz and they tried to convince him to.
2 ships in the night.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so fucking we gave Jonathan Tavares, Pajama Boy, we gave him Scott Gordon and Jack Capuano as coaches.
Yep.
And Doug
So,
Wade.
but I will say, if you have you read any of like Maple Leaf Twitterland at all?
Oh, I should.
You should.
Whenever I'm feeling bad, yeah, I have to go over there.
So I got a buddy. So I got a buddy
for it.
who lives in Toronto, and he is a Leafs fan, and he knows my disdain for Tavares. And when the Leafs
And the Leafs in general, we've always hated those guys.
yeah, but I mean that just I took it to the next level. So when we had the Leafs get ousted in the second round, right, to Florida, he was like just sending me all the stuff about Leafs Twitter and all the anger and like they want to buy out Tavares. That's the fan base.
Oh yeah, they all wanted him off. Yeah, out of the big four, he's the one.
He's like the most expensive. We're not going to be able to sign fucking Matthews. He sucks. He doesn't show up in the playoffs, and I'm just like,
which is ironic because I think he scored the game-winning goal to actually win them a goddamn playoff series. But hey,
he did. But sometimes you get what you ask for, Johnny boy.
And sometimes you shouldn't pay a 35-year-old $11 million a year. Hear that, Lou?
Right. Right.
To Lou's credit, he's never paid anybody 11 a year though.
Maybe he'll. Oh no, he did. He paid Ilya Kovalchuk like $47 million a year.
Oh, that's right.
That was the contract that
with like the 20 years
that was the contract that like they had to redo the salary cap for.
Change the rules.
Change the rules. Yeah.
Hey, Lou's a visionary.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's what he does. He still does it, man.
Like if it's gonna be Lou versus Gary Bettman, I'm rooting for Lou every time.
Oh yeah, he still does it every year. I mean, the Casey Cizikas contract. He's like, I'll give you
another one.
I'll give you $15 million over 6 years.
Yep.
But you got 6 years, and we'll front load it. We'll give you $15 million. We'll give you $10 million in year one, and then we'll give you $1 million for the next 5 years. And then by the time you retire, you'll get it's like a little retirement gift. It's fine, Casey. Don't worry.
That's fine because he loves stuff in the cap, right? And by the way, coming soon, Scott Mayfield, 7 years, 14 million.
Dude, I was just going to say, do you think we're going to get Mayfield on like an 8 year, $16 million contract?
Yep. I mean, Ross Johnson got 5 years.
Oh, 4. He has signed concurrent 4-year, $4 million deals.
What a life.
He played 16 games last year.
Yeah.
16 games because Lambert doesn't like him.
Which might be his career high.
He played way more than that the year before. He played like 50 games in the year before. And like, look, when this identity line finally checks out after this year, because there's no way we can re-sign Cal Clutterbuck or Matt Martin after this year. He can be your fourth line winger, right? Him and Fasching and Cizikas can be your fourth line, and I don't have a fucking problem with that.
Absolutely,
because then it makes sense. Your fourth line is making less than $5 million total, but right now your fourth line is making like $8 million total or some shit. I don't know. Actually, they might actually only be making $5 million with the new contracts they signed. So I guess that line doesn't make.
Yeah, I would love Fasching on the fourth with pick one, Matt or Cal going forward. I think it's Cal's time, but I've said that like 4 years in a row. So he's got one more year.
They all got one more year. Well, the two of those wingers got one more year, and I can't imagine Cal. I can't imagine coming back. Matt actually played not terrible this year, so he might have another year or two in the tank. But I don't think Cal's got anything left after this year. I don't think he wants to because he's like going to be 35 this year, and he's my size, and he's definitely a badass. Yeah, he's literally my size, and he just crushes people. So, and I'm 5'10", like 185. That's Cal Clutterbuck right there. So, and he just doesn't. He just throws his body around and doesn't give a fuck. So, anyway, buddy. It's been a fun show. We talked a lot about poop. We talked a lot about the Mets and their offense, flutes. which is also poop and flutes, and the lack of Islander news.
Real quick, are the Denver Nuggets going to take care of this real quickly, or you don't care?
Sweep.
Yeah, sweep. You think it's a sweep? Okay.
Yeah, I mean
it's hard to disagree with that, but
the Celtics are the biggest joke of a fucking playoff team. They were already talking about firing the coach that they
You want to
fired
make
their
that
other
the
coach
Via,
to
by the way?
replace.
You want to make them the Via?
Yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, keep going then. Boston Celtics, Via con
Yeah,
Dios.
Boston Celtics. You guys have Jason Tatum, who's Mr. Subway, fucking MVP possibility, blah, blah, blah. You stink in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown, you stink in the playoffs. Fucking Al Horford, you're old. And Joe Manzanella, or whatever the fuck your name is, that replaced Ime Udoka, who got such a raw deal. I still don't understand that. The guy had that team like playing really well, one of the best defensive teams, and you look, I don't support sexual harassment and infidelity in the workplace, but that has nothing to do with your fucking job. And if in the NBA, that shit happens all the time. And if that was the problem and that was what happened, the way they fucking outed him and made it a public fucking display was, I don't understand. I don't understand. It didn't make any sense. And then
I feel like
to put him on suspension. But then to put him on suspension,
well, that made no sense.
Only to let him what were you hoping that he didn't file a lawsuit against you? Was that what it was? It made no sense, and it was handled
I feel like they felt burned
idiots.
From that Isaiah Thomas situation with the Knicks a long time ago, and that's
I don't know, man. I don't know if you.
That's my only guess. I don't know.
If you felt like he was, breaking company rules and having an inappropriate relationship in the workplace, you could have just fired him for fucking terminating him for breach of contract,
right there,
and then just either pay him or don't pay him, and then let the media try and piece it together. But like to have that stupid fucking press conference and out him like that, and like his wife, his whole family had to go through that, like. That's why the Celtics are fucking assholes. And then you put this guy Manzella in place, and then
Mazzulla,
you have
Mountaineer,
whatever the fuck his name is, and then he was clearly outcoached in the playoffs because he's 34 years old, and the moment. Yeah. The moment was bigger than him. I think he's going to be a good coach. This was his first time in the playoffs. He needs experience.
It's jarring because I remember him playing college basketball, and it feels like yesterday. So it's jarring that he's a head coach, by the way.
I don't remember him playing college.
No, I do because my brother went to West Virginia, and so I've seen I remember those teams were good. Those Bob Huggins teams. So he has the pedigree. Yes,
that guy. How is that guy not fired?
To mention
that's what I. So
you know why? Because he's in that he's on that Boeheim level. Well, Boeheim drove over somebody.
Boeheim killed someone, probably drunk, and got away with it. But Bob Huggins recently went on a podcast and just eviscerated transgender and gay people. And all he had to do...
And he also called the whole school a bad word.
Yeah, what, Notre Dame? Was it the Notre Dame lacrosse team? Xavier? Okay.
He called them the hard F thing.
And, the hard F, not good.
They're a bunch of... Yeah.
Yeah. And so clearly he sounded like he was drunk on this show. And
he might have been.
Probably. And the guy got sensitivity training and a fine.
He brings the Bucks into West Virginia, baby.
I don't care, man. This just doesn't make sense. So anyway, enough about it. So via con Dios to the fucking Boston Celtics. Go fuck yourselves. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown fight over your max deals that you guys are going to probably turn into hating each other, and I can't wait to watch this fucking thing implode.
Yeah, it's like another Kyrie situation brewing. I love it. And honorable mention to Gary Sanchez and Jimmy Yacobonis. We hardly knew you guys.
Jimmy Yacobonis sounds like a guy that owns the Greek diner fucking in New York City.
Well, he's going back to it.
Yeah. All right, Dougie. It's been a great show.
Man. We should do more Saturdays.
We should. All right. I'll drink next time. I'll talk to you soon.
I hope so.
Audience. Oh, my God. That was good, buddy. That was good. What do we want to call it?
We can make these Saturday mornings permanent.
I like Saturday mornings because then
the fun ones will be when I'm hungover. I'm actually fine today, but like those will get interesting because I'll probably pre-medicate.
Yeah, dude. I think that hold on, let me shut this down. Your sister also was watching. Meredith was watching, and she said one of her earliest memories is your high school French project using brownie batter.
Oh God! See, I should have remembered that story.